60 days. That's how long it took my client Christy to go from zero to her first 10K month selling on Amazon, starting from zero. No technical experience, no e-commerce background, never sold a single product online, never had any other businesses. Now, 60 days later, she's already doing a 10K month on the platform. Now, guys, Christy is super busy. She's active law enforcement. She's assigned to major crimes. So if you're familiar with law enforcement of any kind, you know that that is a very, very demanding position. And not only was she building it on the side, she was also able to build it really quickly. Guys, like imagine you're starting from zero. You know absolutely nothing about Amazon. And in 2 months, you're doing a 10K month on the platform of a brand new business that you just started. So we get into exactly how she was able to do that in this interview. Let's get into it.
I work full time at the police department, so I'm a major over their major crimes division, so that keeps me busy all the time. Then I have two girls, so I just wanted something to have to fall back on other than just my retirement. So that's what gave me the motivation to get started.
Why did you choose the Wholesale Underground specifically?
Your demeanor and how you explain things. I watched several of your TikTok videos, and I just thought it was something that I wanted to get into. I guess it was just more of the person, how you presented it, than some of the others. Because I know there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, there's a ton. And then over the years, there's just been countless. So I'm always curious of like what kind of got you signed up with us specifically. But you're a major in the major crimes division. I was a detective, so I understand that the scheduling is unreal. Like you pretty much, I mean, for me, I pretty much live there. So how were you able to fit this in on the side? Because sometimes people come in and they have, you know, a full-time job and they're like, I don't even know if this is possible to grow this on the side.
I just do it on the weekends, like when I don't have my kids. I do a lot of it in the evening times, and I just try to put it in. I mean, I put in a lot of hours working on this on the side. So you just got to put forth the effort and the desire.
Yeah, you just got to make time, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have another client. I don't know if you remember him from the group. His name is Hever, and that dude's so busy. And he was like, I always told myself I didn't have time until I made time. And it's like, I remember when I first started out, I was just starting I was already like a year into detectives, and we were so busy, and I would clock into my shift and then stay late and then get home, hang out with the family for a little bit, and then I would be working up until like 1 or 2 in the morning, wake up early, get back to work, right? And it's like, it's just having that reason why you're doing it that's strong enough that it's like, it doesn't matter what's going on. It's like, I will find the time to make it work because this matters. And if you don't have that strong enough reason, then anything can pull you away from the vision. And then it'll just be that one thing you tried that one time and it didn't go anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what was your biggest, well, before we get there, what is your highest rolling 30 days?
It was a little over 10,000. And then I got up to 13,000. And that's kind of where we're at right now.
13,000. And you got that done in 2 months, right?
Pretty much. I think I joined your course like maybe the middle of March or something, and then really started diving into it at the beginning of April. So yeah, started mostly just doing RA is what I've been doing. I've been trying to put in the time to do some online and wholesale. It's just a slow process, but most of my stuff's been RA stuff.
So with that being said, like what was your biggest problem before you joined the program, or did you not start at all until you joined the program? Like you didn't have any prior sales or attempts?
No, I didn't do anything until doing your program.
Wow. So you started from zero and you got to a 13K month in 2 months, which is crazy growth. I think having a blueprint when you have a full-time job or a demanding career, like it's a no-brainer, because it's like if your options are, let me go onto YouTube and let me just scour the internet and try to piece everything together, or let me just invest in myself and have this proven blueprint that I can just follow when I do have the time to fit it in my opinion, it's like a no-brainer. But what do you think the program like really streamlined things for you?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah. If you're just starting out and you don't have that program, you would be totally lost, because there are so many hurdles you got to jump, just with Amazon itself. And it seems like there's always something coming out or something you're having to do. So having that platform makes a huge difference.
Okay, yeah, completely agree. What do you think like was some of your biggest problems in the beginning? Because you grew really quick, like 2 months, 13K, starting from nothing is impressive. But I'm assuming you had some mistakes, some things,
Oh,
some falls, some headaches, some stuff that you were stuck on. Can you just kind of tell me some of those issues and how you overcame them?
yeah. So I basically started with the grocery, and that's kind of where I've kind of stuck to. I went out a little bit, but uh, I I thought about the grocery section just because I don't really have to worry about returns, and that was a big thing for me. So I didn't want to have a lot of returns, or not a lot, but just have to have that return factor. And ungating is an issue, obviously, but I have learned that with ungating, let's say if you want to do a big brand, let's just say a Dove product, do not go in there and try to ungate without having the proper documentation, because then once you go back and you get that proper documentation, you have to jump through hurdles to get that approved, even though you have the documentation, because they'll automatically reject you, and you've got to call, you've got to jump through hoops once that's happened. So that was a learning process. Don't just try to get ungated, with like invoices, receipts or anything like that, because it is an ordeal once you get the proper documentation to try to get ungated and something like that. That's probably been the biggest thing. And one thing with doing retail is that you really got to make sure you're looking at those expiration dates on things, on food, or whether it be lotions or something like that, because a lot of lotions do not put the expiration dates on there. And then if you get those and somebody makes a complaint about it, and you find out that they are actually out of date or something like that, then you got to deal with that. So,
How did you get past ungating? Because you started at a time where everybody thinks that ungating is like the hardest thing in the world, which I always compare. Other than the unit requirement increase, ungating
mhm,
right now is exactly like when I started. It was even with distributor invoices. Sometimes it's hard to get ungated
mhm,
if you're not persistent, because I think persistence plays a big
right.
factor in it. But how do you overcome it?
Just persistent. Started out, like you said, with small things that you are ungated in. And to me, it seems like that the grocery stuff is easier to get ungated in. So I did that. And then, as you get more sales and they kind of trust you more, then it's a little easier to get ungated in things where you only have to have 10 units or something like that. But persistency does pay off. I know that there was one product, it was Green Mountain Coffee, and I think the requirements is like 200 units on that. So I was able to get through a distributor to get that, and it was just jumping through hurdles, and finally got ungated and able to move past that. So
That's good. So you are starting to kind of transition over into wholesale.
mhm,
Yeah.
trying to. That's been a big hurdle, because I try to look at the things that you've taught in your course, Googling distributors, the name brands of, something that's key in that brand or whatever. And that's still kind of a hurdle for me, but I am just pushing through it.
One thing that you can try is with RA, and a lot of people don't do this, and I have a lesson about it in the program, but because you're going to be going through so many brands, and a lot of them are potentially going to be smaller brands, depending on where you're
Mhm.
sourcing, are not like these major brands, you can reach out to the brand. And because you've already sourced it, essentially the conversation sounds very different. Like the conversation when somebody goes to open up a wholesale account is, can I open up a wholesale account? And then I'm just going to look through your catalog. But the conversation for you, which is much more powerful, is that you're opening up a wholesale account, but you already know what you want. So it just becomes a negotiation on price at that point, because you've already sold the product, you already know it sells, you know what price you need it at. So then the supplier is essentially taking you a lot more serious, because you could potentially place an order that day if they're able to open an account with you.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something you definitely want to try, because you're already in that transition phase. I like people getting to 10K and then, all right, let's start at least dipping our toes into wholesale, so that you're not in the grind phase forever. And then
Mhm.
yeah, that's a good way to transition.
In your course, you talk about, because you can find a whole lot of people that think they're legit on Google, but then when you actually start plugging their addresses in, looking them on Google Maps, I did that yesterday, matter of fact, and it came up as a car garage or something like that. So you have to be really careful with that.
Those are everywhere now. Like
Yeah.
those were like far and few in between when I started. And now I'm like, every other supplier that, because sometimes clients will send me a supplier, and I was like, why are all of these like in a residential area? They're a house,
Mhm.
they're a storage unit, they're a different retail store. I'm like, they're everywhere now. I think vetting in wholesale right now, if you're going after distributors, is more important than ever.
So, and I did, in the beginning FBA, and then I started throwing in some FBM. Like I didn't even think of that until I think I inboxed you. It was like, and you're like throwing some FBMs in there, and I did that, and that gets over that hump. And so now I kind of do both. But with FBM, you really, really have to be careful because that shipping can cost you more than the actual product. So you really have to be aware if you're going to do FBM.
Yeah, yeah, you have to, if you don't bake it in the beginning and it's profitable, don't source it. Like I've had people been like, "Hey, why am I getting charged all this?" I was like, "You got to bake it in. It's not just the costs just go away, you know?"
Right.
But FBM, I love FBM because I think it's a hack. It's just so much faster, especially when you're in the beginning. I think when you're starting out, it's just such like a shortcut to experience and growth, because it's like everything that you're doing is hands-on. And then FBA, I think, is a lot simpler. You're just shipping it out one time and then they're taking care of the rest. But with FBM, it's like you're so hands-on. And then the people that have experience with it, once we get into back to school, Halloween, quarter 4, the people that took the time to really dial in FBM, they always capitalize significantly.
FBM's a lot of work.
Yes, it is a lot of work. So if
Yeah.
you're willing to do it though, it works out. But yes, definitely more work than FBA. What do you think is one of the bigger mistakes that new people make that just keeps them stuck from actually taking off? Because we have a lot of people in the group who get to that first 10K, but we, like anything else, there's a lot of people who don't, right? So it's like, what is the separator essentially from the people who get to that 10K pretty quick and the people that get stuck in the starting line?
Well, just from, I think that if they like watch your course and like actually watch every segment of that, that's the first thing. Because I've noticed like on Facebook, and I'm not trying to dime anybody out or anything like that, but I'll see a lot of them that they just joined, and then like a week later they're already asking a question about this or that, which you've already covered in the course, and they just don't give themselves that time to go through the course and study that and learn that. And then Keepa obviously is a big thing to make sure that you're know what's going on with the Keepa, and that you're just not buying something and not looking at the long term of that product, like that 365 days or whatever.
Yeah, I think Keep as your, obviously it makes it so that you're able to buy profitable inventory, but it's also your insurance policy. It's going to tell you, hey, is this a good opportunity now, only right now, but then you're going to lose money, or is this a good long-term opportunity because it's not on a price spike or hundreds of sellers just jumped on, or whatever it may be.
Right.
And
And you just said that there was a product that I had gotten, and I had got a ton of it, and it ended up, by the time that I was selling it, all these other sellers started coming on, and the price just like tanked like to nothing. So you have to really watch that. So
yeah, that's something that I probably got hit with the worst when I first started. So I was like, oh wow, this is like really profitable right now. And then just every single listing just price tank, price tank, price tank. And it's because of all the sellers. And it's like almost guaranteed. If there is anyone on the fence from joining the program, like they're just not sure if it would be a good fit, would you recommend the program to them? What would you have to say?
absolutely, and just sticking to it, persistence. Like you said, you can't expect to get rich overnight. It's just a process, and you guys gotta be committed to it, and know that you're gonna have ups and downs. You're gonna have issues you're gonna have to deal with Amazon, but you just gotta push through it and just keep going.
With this business in general, but any business, it's like persistence is king, with ungating, with sourcing, with just understanding the model. What I notice a lot of times is that people will try once and then they quit forever. And then they say it doesn't work. And it's like, you tried once. Like
Right. Yeah.
you can't expect to go up there and hit 100% of the time. Like you have to just stay persistent with everything. And
Uh-huh.
going back to one of your other points is just watching the course material. I've taken like so much time to make sure that I cover everything. Like I
Right.
don't keep any secrets. I don't hold anything back, because I'm like, my primary goal is to help you guys make money. What benefit would I have from hiding anything, right? So I'm like, watch the course material, watch the course material. And then sometimes you'll have people who they don't watch anything, right? Like
Mhm.
literally not a single lesson. And then it's like, oh, I'm really confused in the business model. It's like, you just got to watch the lesson. You got to watch the
Right.
video if you're going to learn how to do it.
Yeah, and I can't imagine how long it took you to do that, but I'm grateful that you did. Yeah, it's a huge help.
Yeah, yeah. It took a while, but for me, the biggest thing is like I just want to see you guys win. So anytime that I get those messages or those posts, it's like for me, and especially from you, like with your background, it's like we have such similar backgrounds. And
Hmm.
in the program, like when I first started, I had no idea that I was gonna have like so many law enforcement go through it, people from federal agencies as well. Like we have Border Patrol, we have NYPD, LAPD, we have military, we have all this stuff, and it's like, especially from you guys who are like we have similar backgrounds and seeing you guys win, it's like that's what's fulfilling for me for sure.
Now, if you're tired of being on the YouTube hamster wheel, going from video to video endlessly every single day, and no matter how much time you put in your business, it's not looking the way that you expected, I want you to check out that first link in the description. That's my one-on-one mentorship program where you get to work with me directly and we help you build your business. Now, guys, I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people just like you and I build this business starting from zero. People who have no business experience whatsoever, no technical skills in this space, no e-commerce, never sold a single dollar online. Just like my client Murillo right here, he went from zero to a 25K month with 6.2K in profit in his first 72 days, starting from nothing. This is Heber. He went from zero to a 40K month with over 8K in profit in his first 106 days, starting from nothing, just like Murillo. This is Jose. He went from zero to a 53K month in 112 days of joining my mentorship program. And these are just a few results. I have hundreds and hundreds of testimonials that have taken my mentorship program. We dive into their business, they get full access to me, and they follow the proven blueprint that leads to results. Guys, there is nothing wrong with trying to do this on your own. But if you value your time and you want to time collapse the learning curve and how long it's actually going to take you to build this business, a mentorship program is a no-brainer. Like, look, this is Dolly. Dolly tried to build this business for 6 months. And over the course of 6 months, she hit 10K in sales total. After 45 days of being in my mentorship program, she hit a 10K month. This is Mark. Mark also tried to build this business for months and months at a time, and he was stuck at about 1,000, 2,000 in sales. After 98 days of being in my mentorship program, he hit a 40K month. Now, we just hit a 12-month period since we've been working together, and he just crossed over $415,000 in sales. Last month alone, he hit just under 11K in profit for his business. So like I said, there's nothing wrong with doing it on your own, but it's definitely going to take you significantly longer, and you're learning lessons the hard way. Instead of learning from my mistakes or the mistakes of the people in the community and learning from the proven blueprint that we offer, you're learning those lessons on your own. And we call them hard lessons learned because it's going to cost you time, it's going to cost you money, it's going to cause you a lot of headache. So if you value your time and you want to time collapse the learning curve significantly, like I said, the mentorship program is a no-brainer. Do you want to take 18 to 24 months to figure this out on your own while we get people squared away in 90 days? The decision's really up to you. But if you guys have any questions, reach out to me on Instagram. I'll leave it linked right here on the screen or down below in the description. And if you guys want to join the mentorship program, grab one of those mentorship spots because they aren't going to be open forever. Go ahead and click that first link in the description and I'd be happy to help you. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.